where the landfill is and where it will be, and the big transportations that is coming within the next 2 years, just south of City Hall, about a mile. And so we want to begin with our usual pledge to the flag of the United States. And I hope you have noticed on the newscasts of those poor folks in Kentucky how many American flags they have stuck up. I mean, they just built bricks around a flagpole to keep it standing up and salute and say, we're here, we're alive, we're strong, and God bless those people. And we can help through Red Cross and other donation centers to meet their needs somehow. So let's stand and pledge allegiance to this flag, which we all honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Rory. Would you call roll?
She's not here.
Shelley.
Rory's
sorry.
not here.
Habits are hard to break.
Yes, they are. Councilmember Robinson.
Here.
Gettle.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Sperry.
Here.
And Glover.
Here. Thank you. We're all present. So I invite Chief Randy Thomas to come forward and give us an update report on the Unified Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. I hope you all got a copy of our November UPD stats. Our caseload was 859, slightly up from last year. It looks like last year, the same month, we were 806. We had a real good month as far as citations, with 817 citations issued, 736 of those being penalty citations. Along with that, I included the financial report and statement of UPD, and it looks like we're currently running about 6% under budget, which is pretty good, especially for this time of year. I want to tell you that it's the UPD personnel that received the compensation increase, it just hit their first paycheck a couple days ago, and I got some thanks, and I want to pass that on to you for supporting that movement to make the UPD compensation more agreeable, as well as I'd say where we can hold on to our personnel. I want to mention that our DEU unit served a narcotic search warrant on Wilson Street, 8317 South Wilson Street. During the investigation of that, there was a significant amount of methamphetamine sales associated with that address, as well as marijuana sale. We did that in conjunction with DEA, and the investigation is still continuing on that, so it's still reaching out. Last Saturday, well, it wasn't last Saturday, but Saturday the 4th, UPD sponsored Operation Shop with a Shield. That's where UPD, as well as the Sheriff's Office, if you notice, some of them have the beards, or some of the female officers have like odd colored hair, which back in the day was a no-no. But they kind of pay. I look a lot better. Yeah, that's better. It was really in my face there a second ago. A lot of the back in the day, you know, no beards, no kind of odd colored hair streaks or fingernails. But a couple years ago, we started where there'd be a donation made, and at the end of the year, it all went into a kitty, and we'd get a bunch of needy families and take them on a Santa shopping spree, and it's been very successful. So once again, that was in Midvale at our Walmart. The interesting fact was the Midvale Rotary Club, on the exact same day, with very little notice, chose to do their Santa shopping up at the Target just over the border in Cottonwood Heights. So we were able to get some of our personnel to help cover that. It was pretty thin, but I want to thank Cottonwood Heights, as well as a couple Draper officers came and helped us, and we teamed up with the Midvale Rotary Club, and once again, same day, 2 different shopping centers, quarter mile apart, and really made a lot of Christmases for some people that needed some help. So that was kind of a good thing that went on that day. I want to mention also that Friday, December 10th, I attended the DARE graduation at East Midvale Elementary. And Officer Yonkman is our school resource officer. He actually did 2 DAREs, the other one being up in the White City area, Altaview. But it's really fun to see these 5th graders and each of their personalities come out when they're so proud of that accomplishment. It's not easy. It's not an easy class, and they all write an essay afterwards. And the Officer Yonkman's wife actually judges the essays and allows the top 3 to be read during the presentation. But they also had Mrs. Bluffdale, who ironically was a DARE graduate at that school, I want to say 13 years prior to that. And part of the DARE thing is dare to reach out and go and bust through those kind of scary moments in life. Well, she always wanted to write a book. Well, she now works for Canyon School District. She wrote a book. She's Mrs. Bluffdale. She actually read the book to the kids. And I want to say it was called Unique Me, and it was about a child with autism. And kind of a neat book, but, just shaking every hand that's, if ever there was a chance to spread some germs, we did. But this stuff comes in handy afterwards. So it was fun. But you really do. You see the individual personalities of each of those kids, and they're great kids. I have completed our budget worksheets for the upcoming fiscal year already and submitted them to Lisa, our CFO with UPD. Obviously, that doesn't deal with our fleet expenditures where they've got to predict our gas rates. She'll plug in the personnel costs and then any kind of benefits and compensation beyond that. But overall, our operational costs that I budgeted for are pretty flat. I didn't ask for any increases with the exception of just our janitorial expense. And that through this last year tripled. But when I redid it and hired a part-time employee and then we're just taking care of our expendables, it looks like we went probably about a 70% increase rather than a 300% increase. So I'm the one precinct that decided to hire a part-time rather than go with a contract service. And so far it's been very much to our advantage. This morning's coordination meeting, I just want to reach out to Glenn and also our emergency manager. I think we're well prepared for this upcoming storm that's predicted for this evening. We kind of had some discussions on road conditions, the imminent, it's going to rain, then it's going to get really cold. And Public Works is ready for it. UPD is ready to coordinate with Public Works as needed if the roads start icing up. We didn't have too much of a problem with the last large storm, with the exception of when it did begin to stack up. UPD was busy. We were going call to call to call. So we look forward to the public cooperating and getting your vehicles off the roadways if you can prior to the storm and until the Public Works gets things cleaned up properly. Really enjoyed the going away shindig for the mayor this evening. Most of you were there. It was neat. It was a lot of good representation came to bid the mayor farewell, and mayor welcome in the new mayor-elect. We're excited to see change, and we're gonna miss you very much, Mayor. So, but I know you won't be gone. Nope. Last but not least, happy holidays to all on behalf of not only UPD but myself. I think this is our last meeting. I hope, right? Good.
Meeting Christmas Eve.
Well.
Yeah. That's all I have. Any questions or comments from council, Mayor? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you, Chief.
Thank you.
And all of your crew.
Hey, Chief, maybe you just mention about Hillcrest and what's happening up there.
Yeah, we've heard some complaints as far as children pickup at Hillcrest. We actually had one of the businesses up there. The owners come by our police station. It wasn't necessarily involved with the pickups up there, but what we're seeing is the traffic flows with either drop off or pickup. Parents are becoming real creative as to how and where they can pick their kids up. So they're stacking up in businesses around the high school. And one of those businesses has alcohol sales. So obviously that can cause problems for them if they get inspected. So our officers just went up there and made friendly contact and located a few suspects. One of them might have been Councilman Glover doing what about 100 other parents were doing, is just picking their kids up in a safe place. But he and I discussed that earlier, and it's really I think until the school gets fully built out, until the traffic flows, people figure it out, we're gonna probably have issues, but we're gonna deal with the issues, and it's definitely understandable, but it's workable.
That parking on the west side should be opening up soon and expanding.
Correct. Yes, correct. So, thank you.
Okay.
Well, that parking lot is open now on the west side. You can get to it from the south.
Is that not helping? I haven't.
No, it will. I mean, once they, I think, I mean, they're putting in the ball fields and tennis courts, so they blocked off the 7th East entrance, but they should open that back up, I believe, at the end. And once that's done, it'll help. But yeah, I think it's gotten a little bit better once they open up the ability to get in from the south, like a month ago or so.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Let us now turn to public comments. Have we had any public comments or individuals from the public that would like to comment? Please come up and state your name. Welcome.
Marcus Stevenson. I just really quickly wanted to thank you, Mayor Hill, for your grace and kindness that you've shown me throughout this process. I think if any theme came out of, that was really shown tonight, it is your kindness, it is your smile, and you have shown the exact same to me and my family. And I don't think that you wouldn't always get that in this situation. So I just want to say thank you deeply from my heart. Thank you so much for your kindness. I really appreciate it and really appreciate to learning more from you in the next 4 years.
Thank you. Thank you for running a clean election, and hard work is evident, and our hearts go out to you now. You poor thing, you're going to have to run this now.
Yes.
We hope and pray for you. We will, because I have an idea what you're in for.
Yes.
And your life has just changed.
Yes, it has. Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
You bet, Marcus. Any other public comment? Appreciate that. Thank you. We'll now turn to council reports and begin with Councilmember Paul Glover.
Mayor, I'd just like to say that thank you for your service. It's been wonderful working with you. That's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Paul, and mutually felt that way. Councilmember Dustin Gettle.
Mayor, I also want to thank you for your many years of service. I was thinking today at the number 37 years. That's quite, I'm thinking about 37 years from now, what the city would be like, and can't even imagine what it's going to be like 37 years from now. So thank you, from the bottom of my heart for all of your service to Midvale the last 4 years. It's been a pleasure serving with you as well, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Dustin. It's been a pleasure for me, too.
That's all for me.
Councilmember Quinn Sperry.
Yeah, Mayor, I also want to express my appreciation to your service, all those years and your friendship. And, I was thinking this week is 7 years since I was appointed to fill the last year of your term, after you resigned and went out of the country for a little bit. So, thank you for approaching me. My wife may not say thank you for doing that, but no, thanks for doing that. And, you before you had left, you had mentored me and met and talked through a few things, and then you also dropped off a big stack of books and documents when I took over, and I'm sure you were glad to get those out of the way. So, Marcus, I'm sure you have something coming.
I'm going to leave it in the office.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not hiking it anywhere.
But no, thank you for just, everything. And, when I've talked to people, I think, I don't know, you've probably known my family since I was in diapers. So you've seen me grow up, and you've been a good mentor in many ways. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Quinn. It's been a pleasure working with your dad and yourself. Councilmember Brian Brown.
Yeah, I just would also like to take a minute to express my gratitude. I was thinking about this a lot today. In the 4 years since you've been mayor, we've had quite a bit of turnover in, assistant city manager, city manager. We love Matt. We love the new assistant city managers. I don't want to, make it seem like otherwise. Plus, global pandemic that, really shut down a lot of things. And I think it speaks a lot to what Marcus said, that you are always smiling and you have a great temperament. And I think a lot of people wouldn't be smiling and have a great temperament having to deal with that in just one term. So, I think it was great for Midvale. And you were the right person to get us through that. So I want to say, thank you. It was more challenging than I think people realize when you step back and look at it. And that's all I have.
Thank you. And Council Member Heidi Robinson.
Outside of echoing what the other council members have said, I also wanted to just express my gratitude to you for all of your service. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. And my report is what a privilege it's been to serve the residents of Union and then Midvale and the county and every place that I've been appointed or elected, and there's nothing like it. I feel the needs are always greater than our ability to provide, and I think Public Works probably gets that feedback more than any other department. How come our leaves weren't gathered up? How come the roads aren't plowed? How come, it just goes on and on and on. And yet the management of this city has been outstanding in every department, and legal, in community development, in public works, in finances, administration. Every department has done a yeoman's job. And you're right, Councilmember Brown, the 2-year pandemic we've been in the middle of has certainly wasn't anything that we wanted, anticipated, hoped for, and yet look how we've come through, and that's because we've all worked together as a community and make good, hard choices, but good choices. And here we are. I hope, going out the back end of this now, and life will return to, quote, normal, unquote. Normal will be different. And I think we can adapt to it, though. If we don't have COVID staring at us in the face and keeping masks on forever and ever and ever, or multiple shots, I don't know, just listening to the health experts, it sounds like this is going to be similar to the flu shot we get every year. We may have to have a COVID reboot every year, just the way it is, or you die eventually from it. And I don't think that's something I relish. Thanks to all of you. I mean that sincerely. Everybody here has done their part, and it's been a pleasure for me serving as your mayor. But life goes on, and it will, for all of you too. Someday you won't be sitting on the dais. Someday you won't have a badge on. Someday you won't be plowing streets or governing those who are plowing or balancing the books. That day will come, and then you'll have the opportunity to look back and self-evaluate how you did. You won't trust anybody else's evaluation. You have to judge it yourself. How did you do? And it will become evident in a short time how you did. And I hope that you have the same good feelings that are available to all elected officials if they do a good job, and appointed and hired, and good management principles always win out. Thank you. We'll now go to our department reports and ask for Public Works to come up just before the snowstorm. And
Can I jump ahead of him really quick? Just
Sure.
a couple quick things.
I didn't want to follow that.
The first thing is I just wanted to remind everyone in the audience and the council as well that because of the timing of Christmas and the normal holidays that we're able to take off with that this year we will be closed from the Thursday the 23rd through the Monday the 27th. Now, different departments will be a little bit differently, but generally City Hall will be shut down for those days. We will also, when it comes to the New Year's holiday, we'll actually be splitting up staff who will be taking those days off, so there won't be a day that the city will shut down outside of our normal being off on Friday. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware. We have had it on our calendar on our website. It's now on our doors, and we will be moving that to a little bit more prevalent spot on our website so that everyone is aware of where that's at. Also make sure that managers communicate with staff that if there's anything that they feel someone might need from us on those days that will be closed, that they coordinate in advance to make sure that everyone is aware that we'll be shut down those days. The next thing is just, while I don't want to necessarily repeat myself from the event earlier, but I, again, just on behalf of our staff and from myself, I just want to, again, thank you, Mayor, for everything you've done for us, for this community, and we appreciate the leadership that you've provided. I think you've made us a better organization because of who you are, and we're really going to miss you, and you should come back as much as you want. I know that everyone will be happy to see you, but thank you again.
Thank you, and it's good to have somebody looking over my shoulder say, you missed an item. Yeah. All leaders need that. Thank you.
Well, next, and Glenn does that for me, so it all works out.
Then I get punished.
I've never hit him, to be clear.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Quick report tonight. Next slide, thanks, Jake. I just wanted to touch on our safety program. We discussed COVID a little bit tonight. We were just getting the ball rolling with getting a safety program and getting trainings, and then COVID hit and kind of put a kibosh on getting groups together. Will you click the next slide, Jake? Sorry. I have the clicker, thanks. Sweet. So in October, we really rebooted the program, started with our snowplow training. The streets personnel put it on. I'm a huge believer in having the staff perform the trainings. Then they do the research and they become the expert, and you learn more by teaching. So we did a hands-on as well. We've got a lot of new drivers where they may have a CDL, they may not have plowed, and they may not have plowed in Midvale. So we set up some obstacle courses and got them used to the trucks and had them drive their routes, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully we'll be prepared tonight. Confined space, water and sewer put that one on. We call them sniffers. Air quality monitors, what do you call them, Chief? Sniffers, okay. So water and sewer, a lot of our folks have to go in holes underground, right? The air is not safe. There's a lot of hazards under there. So we went through the training on the sniffers or air quality monitors, set up the tripod, did a mock rescue. It was really good. And you can see some of the pictures of first aid and CPR, which was just a week ago. So the ball's really going there, and I'm really proud of the guys for embracing it. Some project updates, Traffic Control Committee. Keith created an application. Have you seen it yet, Mr. Dahl? No. It's in review, and we hope to have applications out and then selection in January for the community member. Parks landscape maintenance contract, Susan Stengel, did I say that correctly? Worked hard, is working hard, should have that to legal shortly. Pretty much this whole list, legal has been involved with or will be involved with the review, just to kind of give you an idea of their workload. Appreciate their help. We got our iWorks contract done. That will be huge as far as presenting data, our story, and where your resources are being spent. We're ready for the storms tonight, and are there any questions?
Glenn, I have a question.
Yes.
When there's a storm, it's going for hours, right? And obviously the impact afterwards, how long does a driver stay in his truck plowing before they take a break or anything like that? I'm always just curious.
We cut it off at 12 hours. They have to go home.
So they could be driving around for 12 hours-ish?
But yes, there's breaks and they stop in between, but we cut a shift off at 12 hours and they need some sleep.
That's great to know, because I just don't know if people appreciate the time and energy that goes into.
And I will add to that, we get a lot of residents call and complain that we push the snow back up on the sidewalk or back up on the driveway. Our drivers have to go home and shovel their walk afterwards. So they're fully aware of what's going on out there.
All right, thanks, that's all I have.
Thank you. And Mayor, thanks for your kindness, your positivity, your wisdom. It's been an honor to work with you, truly. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, our next agenda item is a consent agenda, so Paul, if you'd do the pleasure.
Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes of December 7th, 2021. Any questions or comments on the motion? All right. Shelley?
Councilmembers Berry,
Aye.
Glover,
Aye.
Robinson,
Aye.
Brown,
Yes.
and Gettle.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move to our action items. There are three. The first is consider resolution 2021 R40, a resolution authorizing the mayor to register Midvale City and participate in the national opioid settlement. Lisa Garner, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, nothing more can be said about how tremendous of a leader you've been for us. And so, but I hope that when you do take time to reflect back on your service and your time, and you do your self-evaluation, that you remember all of these words that have been said that are very genuine and honest about you and your service. And it has been a delight, and I can't say enough about what a pleasure it's been for I can speak for myself, but my staff and all of the staff. You do bring a genuine positive energy that has been so helpful, especially during these last couple of years. So thank you.
Thank you. I think my positive energy comes when I wrap the gavel and you jump 6 inches.
Even when I see it coming, yeah. We spoke about this a little bit ago, that the state is part of the national opioid settlement that's happening. And all of the subdivisions have to join in order for the state to get a certain amount of money. The more subdivisions that join, the more the state gets. Right now, we don't know who's joining in and who's not. The counties and the state are kind of battling it out as far as how the money is going to be divided. The counties did join the laws. They actually joined the lawsuit before the state did. So I think there's a little bit of resentment from the counties feeling like the state should have joined in earlier. And so the cities, we're just kind of sitting back and letting them battle that out. But in an effort to make sure that the state or the counties can get as much of the funds, of the settlement proceeds as possible, we are needing to register and to participate in the settlement. And we need to do that by January 2nd, or I think somewhere around there. And so one reason I've stayed involved in this with the league and with the state and all of the committee that's doing this is because the state and the counties both have said that cities that have a homeless resource center should get some proceeds in some way. They're going to try to figure out how to help us with our costs, and it's very clear with the settlement proceeds that it can't go for abatement. It has to go for treatment or prevention. And so, but the cities who have been hit by the epidemic, and specifically through those people who are experiencing homelessness because of it, they're going to try to figure out how to help those cities. So, but I don't know what that looks like right now. And we don't know anything because we don't know how many subdivisions are going to opt in. So I'm asking you to authorize the mayor to register and participate in the settlement, the disbursements, the negotiations, all of that are going to be happening within this next year. But I can't tell you how much that's going to be. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I guess you also don't have any idea of what the cost will be for the city to participate?
No cost.
No cost?
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Well,
it's,
That's a perfect number.
yes, that's the only number. That's it. There are no cities in Utah that have joined in the litigation, and it's too late to do that, arguably, most likely because of the statute of limitations and things like that. But, so we are, and since the funds have to be used for treatment and or for prevention, the county does the bulk of that, and the state to some extent. So yes, that there's no cost to the city, and there's no guarantee that the city will receive any funds. It's just overall better for the community, for us to help.
Any further questions for Lisa on this item? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to consider this resolution.
Mayor, I move that we adopt resolution number 2021-R40, a resolution authorizing the mayor to register Midvale City and participate in the national opioid settlement.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Shelley, would you ask the question?
Councilmember Glover?
Aye.
Robinson?
Aye.
Brown?
Yes.
Gettle?
Yes.
And Sperry?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll now consider resolution 2021-R41, confirming the appointment of Paul Glover as the Midwell City Representative on the Board of Trustees of the South Salt Lake Valley Mosquito Abatement District. I have to say, I have seen so few mosquitoes lately. Good work.
He's out there.
He's personal. He's
He's out there spraying them.
So we approved the budget for next year last night, and one of the board members is going to the Amazon. He says he's gonna find some mosquitoes this time of year.
Oh, he will. Long sleeves. Matt, would you help us through this?
Yeah, Councilman Glover's term with the South Salt Lake Valley Mosquito Abatement District ends at the end of this month. We received a letter from them indicating that we need to fill that position and recommended that we reappoint Councilman Glover to that position. Mayor Hale subsequently instructed me and told us that we had appointed Paul. Paul had indicated that he was interested in returning to the position, and so we are seeking your confirmation of that appointment so that Paul can serve an additional 4 years as a member on the Board of Trustees for the Mosquito Abatement District. Does anyone have any questions on that?
And that's a line on your taxes, so vote wisely.
It's the smallest line you have, I guarantee you that.
It is.
Actually, they're doing a really good job, I think, at spending the money that they're given.
Good.
We went through the whole budget last night, and they've done a good job.
Great. Any discussion with Matt or Paul on this action item? I'll entertain a motion if there's none.
I feel like Paul should make this motion.
I don't think so.
So he has to say his own name. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number 2021-R41, confirming the appointment of Paul Glover as the Midvale City Representative on the Board of Trustees for the South Salt Lake Valley Mosquito Abatement District Board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Shelley, would you ask the question?
Yes. Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Gettle,
Yes.
Sperry,
Aye.
Glover,
Aye,
and Robinson.
Aye.
Thank you. Well done, Paul.
thank you.
Our final action item is to consider Resolution 2021-R42, appointing Kyle Marr as the interim city treasurer for Midvale City. We lost our city treasurer to another agency recently, and Kyle is acceded to take this on an interim basis until we get a new one hired. And so I would like to have any questions on this appointment? And hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution 2021-R42, confirming the mayor's appointment of Kyle Maurer as the interim city treasurer for Midvale City.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Shelley?
Councilmember Gettle,
Yes.
Sperry,
Aye.
Glover,
Aye,
Robinson,
Aye.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay.
motion to adjourn.
All right, we're through with city council. We'll get going with our redevelopment agency in just a minute. We're ready to go. That was seconds. All right.
We're gonna do this now.
I want to welcome you all to the Redevelopment Agency of Midvale City on this December 14th. And we'll begin immediately with a roll call. Shelley?
Board Member Gettle,
Here.
Sperry,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Robinson,
Here.
Glover.
Here,
All present and accounted for. We'll now move to public comments. Any member of the public that would like to address the board is welcome to come to the microphone, state your name. Seeing none, we'll go to the consent agenda to consider the minutes of December 7th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion, please.
Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and 2 seconds to consider the minutes of December 7th. Any questions or comments on the motion? Shelley, would you ask the question?
Yes. Councilmember or Board Member Brown,
Yes.
Gettle,
Yes.
Glover,
Yes,
Sperry,
Aye.
and Robinson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Just to get a smile.
We'll now go to action items to consider resolution number 2021-24 RDA, a resolution approving and adopting the Main Street Community Development Tax Increment Interlocal Cooperation Agreement between Salt Lake County and Redevelopment Agency of Midvale City. And we welcome Cody Hill to help us through this one.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. It's been an honor and a privilege working with you. Really great. I have benefited from your guidance and leadership immensely, and so has the redevelopment agency, so I'd like to thank you for that.
Thank you.
This is the final interlocal agreement for the Main Street CDA. Represents about 15% of our budget. If your memory serves you correctly, then you'll recall that all the other interlocal agreements have been first adopted by the taxing entity, and then we've come in and approved it. This one is a little bit different. It's the county. They drafted the agreement, not us, so we are considering it first, and then they will have their public hearing, and the county council will then consider entering into this agreement. It was about a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, where they had their meeting and they considered these terms, basically approved a term sheet. Their staff put this agreement together, and so where is that? Okay, so the conjunction project area, I think I may have sent you the wrong thing, possibly. Sorry, no, I think I sent you the wrong thing. But the terms of the agreement are similar, but not the same as the other interlocal agreements. So the other taxing entities have been 60% for 20 years with a 2019, tax year 2019 base year value. The county, I think we're gonna get the same results, but moving different levers. So they have a policy where they want a floating base year value. They don't want it pegged to a specific tax year. So their base year value is going to be the tax year preceding the year that we trigger the project area for collection. So we're probably going to be doing that in March 2024. So that means tax year 2022 will be the base year value, which will be we will get less increment in the beginning because of that, but then they have adjusted it and they actually want to participate at 75% and not 60%. And so I think moving those two levers, we're going to be about the same place, more or less, as the other taxing entities. They're going for 20 years, just like the other taxing entities. They have opted out of the contingency budget. So the primary budget was $15.5 million. And if a development develops commercial, looking at office, that's over 60 million, then that triggers a contingency budget of, goes from 15.5 to 27, basically to support the development of a parking structure for higher density. The other taxing entities have supported that. The county has opted out. So that reduces it. The county's about 15% of our budget. So that goes to about 7.5 million for parking that we could support. So Chris is talking to that developer who thinks that they might still be able to make that work. So we will keep you posted on that. And the last thing that the county asked for was that we agree to stick to our expenditures that we have in our budget, plus or minus 20%. So for parking, we have $5 million allocated to that. That's in the budget that we adopted. And they just asked that we agree to stick to that plus or minus 20%. For all of the line items except affordable housing, which they just say you're allocating 20% and that is the floor. If you want to spend more, you're welcome to. And then they also asked for $65,000 in administrative expenses, but they increased the cap amount by $65,000 so that it wouldn't pull funds away from this project area. So they do believe in it. They had very positive things to say about it when it was presented to them. And so the resolution is to enter into this interlocal agreement with the county, whereby they would participate tax increment to the project area. Are there any questions about this interlocal agreement? Okay.
Thank you, Cody. All right, hearing no questions, then I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number 2021-24 RDA, a resolution approving and adopting the Main Street Community Development Tax Increment Interlocal Cooperation Agreement between Salt Lake County and the Redevelopment Agency of Midvale City.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on this resolution. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Shelley?
Board Member Brown.
Aye.
Gettle.
Yes.
Glover.
Aye.
Sperry.
Aye.
And Robinson.
Aye.
Thank you. And our final action item tonight is to consider resolution 2021-25 RDA, a resolution authorizing the temporary waiver of fees for use of the art house located at 7697 South Main Street by MMS Theater Limited Liability Corporation. Cody?
Thank you again, Mayor. So the MMS Theater LLC, also known as the Main Street Theater, they had a sold-out show for August of their children's theater, which they were forced to cancel due to the Delta variant. They're trying to bring that show back in January, but there's another show right now, so they're very much wanting for rehearsal space. This is specific to really the fallout of the reemergence of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I see this as not obviously a reoccurring request, but they are looking to use the art house as additional rehearsal space for a month, just while these two shows happen to be overlapping. And they also ask that we waive the fee. The total amount, the benefit, monetary benefit, is about $1,800. If they don't, if we're unable to make this work for them, then they would look elsewhere. So there's really no cost to the agency. It aligns with our goals and vision for the area of supporting the arts. So that's why I bring this to you for your consideration.
I guess the only question I'd have, if they're gonna have it for a month, we're paying the utilities and everything. I just wondered if we need to charge them just to cover what it cost us.
So they would be using it for 3 days a week for 3 hours. I could.
And again, that's why I asked the
Yeah.
question. I don't know.
We would pay for the utilities, regardless. I don't
Okay.
see there being much
And
of
that's
an
fine.
increase. Yeah.
I just thought if they were having it 8 hours a day and
Yeah. No, it's
and they're
Neon lights.
whatever,
Yeah.
then maybe we ought to cover our costs. But if it's minimal, that's not a problem.
yeah.
Other questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion, folks. Last one, I get to do.
I'd like to call this your New Year's resolution.
That's funny. Mayor, I move that the agency adopt resolution number 2021-25 RDA and temporarily waive the art house usage fees for MMS Theater LLC.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on the motion? Hearing none, Shelley?
Board Member Glover?
Aye.
Barry?
Aye.
Robinson?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
And Gettle?
Yes.
Thank you. Paul?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Things got crazy on the